Welcome back to the WDL, everybody. This is the War of Divisions Draft League, Season 3, Week 1, Heimler Division. We've got 2 divisions already in the bag, and we've got 2 more to go. And like I said in other videos, I am typically not probably going to cast every single game every week. I'm going to try my best to cast as many as I can, but this week, I'm doing all of them because it's the first week. So this is the Heimler Division. We've got 5 awesome best of 3s to jump into. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, and to start the Heindler division off, I said, let's start off with a banger. We've got Turnbar of the Fire Ferrets versus Crimson Lease and the Triumphant Trailblazers. They're a couple of really, really strong teams. Turnbar, I think, has one of the strongest, if not the strongest team on paper in the entire league, as he's going with his full strike comp. The 2 full metal alchemist brothers, Alphonse and Edward, with the Maverick 40 cost support. And they go with a bunch of really nice buffs, AoE resistance up, strike attack up, protect on the entire party, a bunch of amazing good stuff. As Crimson Lease on the other side goes, leave this to me with Reagan. And Reagan is going to be the hard carry of this team. Reagan, Velis, and Uni. This is saying, hey, we're going to win the CT war. We've got haste, we've got CT down on the other side. Uni's going to pop bells. Uni's ready to go. Reagan, how hard can you carry this fight? That is the question. So, courage, reaction block rate, AP cost down, and now Edward is online with his dispel, protect, all of that good stuff, AP restore. This entire team is ready to go. Expertise of the Alchemist. This is an amazing buff for making Alphonse survive a ton of hits. And Maverick with the King Bradley TMR, reaction block rate, and haste. She might be 40 costs in our format. I promise you, she's not going to hit like one, especially in this comp for Turnbar. Glacial Calling comes out from Velis. And Reagan, the hard carry, what do you got? Goes for Store with the Monk sub job, attack and defense, piercing rate, Terror Slash hits for just under 3k, pretty respectable damage from the 10k health Maverick. As Uni's going to walk forward, cannot quite reach with an arrow fall here. Wall Breaker coming out. I don't know if there was a barrier online, but if there was, it is gone, and he dispels the haste, which is massive stalagmite transmutation. Alphonse doing a absolute ton of damage, especially with that strike chain coming out from Turnbar. Very well executed. Sub-Zero comes out from Velis. So no haste because of the heal back on the Reagan. Terra Slash doing a ton of damage from the Maverick though. That haste putting in work for her as another Terror Slash. It looks like we're seeing nothing but strike damage from both of these teams. Edward's going to go full Metal Rage, drop the defense by a ton on the Reagan. Only 2k though. His win resistance must be through the roof right now, because my god, he is tanking that incredibly well. This Reagan putting on a show, punishing slow arrow, doing almost no damage to the Alphonse. Can he clean up this kill? Boulder Blockade is 3,300. It is enough, but it gets his courage, which procs his CT up. Velis is up next. Can he get the heal off on time? Yes, he can. Snow healing on the entire party, and now all of a sudden this fight just turned a little bit on its head. Surge Strike doing a good chunk of damage. His 40 cost Maverick putting in a ton of work. Here's the massive AoE, Mountain Dive, removes the protect, a good chunk of damage. Maverick still hangs on though. Velis should be able to go for another heal. Yes, he does. Everybody's still full health, and this Crimson Lease comp looking very impressive versus what I think might be the strongest 3-man comp in our league with Turnbar's team here. 12 AP, and Maverick, my god, literally looks like the hard carry. Maybe next to Alphonse right now. Stalagmite transmutation though, 8,500. Says Alphonse a tank? No. He is a DPS. My god, that is a lot of damage. Velis probably going for damage here because I don't think he's healing himself. Eternal Frost comes out. Big old AoE, finds a double kill. Alphonse, can you kill him? Oh my god, that was insanely close. If Focus Fist doesn't kill there, I think Velis just heals himself to full and wins this fight. That was an insanely close game 1. I hope game 2 is just as close. GG's to both players. Let's jump into the next one. Guys, I'll be honest, in all 3 divisions so far, game 1, or series 1 rather, has not failed to live up to expectations. Will this do the exact same team? Turnbar actually switches up his team comp, says, hey, I know that strike team is really, really strong, but I'm going with a different angle. I'm expecting ice on the other side. He calls it, goes with double fire with the fire evasion squad with Titus tanking up. Crimson Lease, this is a very strong ice team, but the elemental disadvantage, do you have enough to get through this? Leave this to me, says Reagan. Area attack resist up, some elemental resistances up, but one of them is not fire, let me tell you. Saintly Fortress comes out from Titus. This is really his only way to acquire hate, so he's going to do that. Get himself a nice little physical barrier as well, as Shadowbind comes out from Uni. Does the Immobilize land? I didn't see. It did not land. Okay, no immobilize on the Titus, which is actually a pretty big deal because Titus can still walk forward and soak some of these hits. Protecting the light of the future, he's actually not able to reach an AoE here. I'm actually surprised by this. But looks like Shadow Flux coming out from Sweetheart Ildira, who is now about to catch her 140 on this new week, but does not have it yet in this fight. Crimson cuts a lot of damage, procs the self-heal onto Reagan. He's going to be back up to full. Velis cannot get in range to deal any damage. Unfortunately, he's going to pop some sort of buff as Titus is going to get even more hate online. I said the buff originally was his only way to gather that. He actually gets even more there with the Taunting Blade as a disgustingly cool Limit Break comes out from Reagan. That is a ton of damage after the barrier gets broken on Titus. His slash resistance is very, very poor innately. Punishing Slow Arrow does a lot of damage, but not enough to take him out. He is still alive, still standing. Letter Bomb of Love. How much does this do from Ildira? It's going to drop the CT on the other party, which could be pretty massive, about 4k onto Reagan, but he's hasted up. How much does the CT down matter? I think it does, because now Pissarro is ahead of him on the turn order. I don't know if he was originally. Strike of Ruin comes out for a ton of damage, removes the courage, and that should be all she wrote here. Velis is a good unit, but I can't imagine any scenario where he is going to be able to 3v1 this against the entire comp. So a very smart call from Turnbar says, hey, his best answer from my strike team was the ice team. I'm going to call the adjustment, and I'm going to switch into the fire squad. Binding Javelin going to do a good little chunk. Velis might try and stall this out as much as he possibly can with some heals, but it should be over here. Toxic Assault is enough to take it, and that is going to be a clean 2-0 victory from Turnbar. I will say, that ice team is looking very, very impressive from Crimson Lease. We haven't seen him use any other team yet, but that one is looking very impressive. To lose to Turnbar 2-0, honestly, I wouldn't be ashamed of it because I think his team is going to run over a lot of teams. So GG's to both of these players. Congratulations to Turnbar, our runner-up from Season 2, looking to try and claim the title this season. Can he do it? We're going to have to wait quite a few weeks. But we've got 4 more series for you guys today. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, series number 2 for you today. We've got Spike of Bebop's crew versus Error 404, aka Snarky of Ashes to Crashes. And what do we got here? A double Dark Squad coming out from Spike. So Black Rose Helena, Garvel, and Mont Leonis, the 50 cost tank, versus Oberon Heindler, Ravies, and Phoebe. So some Time Mage slash White Mage support in the back with a tank and 1 major DPS. Let's see who can pull this off. So Oberon not going to buff at all. He's going to walk forward, tons of AP to start out the gate because he's just going to limit break right out of the gate. Wow, 6,000 damage onto Black Rose Helena. He still has 23 AP, which is actually pretty impressive considering he just limit breaked without buffing whatsoever. Immortal Spirit coming off from Mont, so he's got courage and almost 12k health. He's going to be a beefy boy. He's going to be hard to get through. And Phoebe, what is she channeling here? She's got haste in her kit. She's got speed force, quicken. It is a quicken. So Ravi's going to go next. Probably find a blinding cross here. I think she should be able to find this angle. Yes, she does. Blinding cross, 1700 damage, does not blind the Black Rose Helena. That can be important because sometimes the blind is enough to make you dodge even units that aren't evasive. And what is the spell coming out from Black Rose Helena here? She should be able to find probably a big AoE. Garvel goes Spirit Blaster, 4800, raises his own Spirit Piercing rate. As a quicken onto Oberon looks pretty massive. No, the Black Rose Judgment comes out first. Okay, it's not an AoE, it's just on a Ravies. Everybody calm the heck down. He jumps up into the air, and Phoebe's going to walk forward. Is this a heal, or is this a quicken onto the Ravies? We're going to find out shortly here. But this looks like a massive limit break. No, it's not a limit break. She channels another spell. Is she only going for Ravies again? Mont actually might be in the way of the AoE, and the Ravies is dodgy. She dodges the Mont. Curata comes out from Ravies, so it is not a quicken. Black Rose Judgment is not enough to kill because of the heal. It gets in the way. Ravies, she targets the Mont because he still has the hate. Garvel needs to find a big old AoE here, or this is probably over. Oh my god, the 140 upgrade actually changes that skill to now a piercing skill. So it kills Phoebe, does a good size chunk to Oberon. Without that 140 upgrade, honestly, this is probably over for Spike, and now it's actually looking pretty decent for him. No more hate on Ravies, and Black Rose Helena finds the kill. And now this is probably GG's. Wait a minute. Okay, the courage. I was going to say, I thought this was over. This is now a blinded Garvel. Killer Drain Blade comes out from Mont. Can Ravi's even kill this tank? I don't even think he has hate at this point, I would assume. Jamming Thrust, that's going to miss. Bro, you got to go for Detonation Blast or you're not going to hit. Ravi's with 0 AP. I can't imagine she's able to kill Mont in one hit. That would be incredibly impressive. Does he go for a Detonation Blast? No, he goes for Jamming Thrust. He's going to miss again. Ravi's is somewhat dodgy automatically in her kit, and he is blinded. Jamming Edge comes out. It's not enough to kill. Quick Action puts her CT up. Does she jump Garvel in the turn order? Yes, she does because of the CT up, and she's going to go for Garvel. Dude, you need to go for a Detonation Blast. You need to hit her. You need a guaranteed hit. He finally does. He smartens up, says, hey, Mont, thanks for moving out of the way. I'm going to go for the guaranteed hit. Kills Ravi's. Honestly, that was a very close game 1 victory. I thought that Error 404 or Snarky was going to win that. Actually turned it the other way. Spike wins game 1. Let's jump in to game number 2. All right, guys, game number 2 between Bebop's crew and Ashes to Crashes. And we'll see what these two players decided to bring out here. So Spike is going with Valade, Eileen, and Miranda. That is a wild composition, let me tell you. That is only a 190 cost in our format, so he has 30 to play with. Decided to go with this. Must feel confident in it. And that is a Fire Squad coming out from Error 404. So that is Yuffie, that is Hio, and I don't remember what 30 cost unit he has. I think it is Balo. Yes, it is. Okay, so Yuffie is going to go first. She goes with the AoE party buff, Subterfuge, Evasion on everybody, Hate down for herself. That's actually pretty massive because it might allow some of these bulkier units to just take hits. And also, you know, any sort of guaranteed hit, like the Dispelling Thrust from Miranda, is not going to go into Yuffie. It's going to go into one of the other units. Could be pretty major for them. Barb Blizzard is going to come out from the Blade. A nice little AoE buff. Sharp Spear for Eileen. Getting herself some damage upgrades here. And what is Miranda going to channel? I imagine this is a fast cast. I don't imagine there's anything else that she could be going for. A very good initial turn rotation coming out from Error 404. It goes for the Keen Blade. CT up. Slash attack up, a tale as old as time. We've seen it many times, and that is the Brumal form for Yuffie. So she is going to dodge guaranteed hits. Not that there is a ton coming out from the other squad here, but if there are that go into her over the next 3 turns, she will dodge them guaranteed. Black Rose Helen and TMR onto Spike's Valade. And honestly, I could be wrong, but I'm having a hard time seeing how Spike's team is going to beat this Fire Squad. I could be wrong. Miranda might be able to pop off here. And honestly, the more turns that bypass without Yuffie closing the gap for that guaranteed hit nullification is better and better for Spike. So can Miranda hit? How much accuracy does she have built in her kit? And did she just walk into an AoE? No, she didn't. It's a fast cast. It's not a water go, which tells me I think she would have been in range to deal damage, so she probably doesn't have the accuracy to hit. Ice Vitalization comes out, Protect for the squad. Could be a nice adjustment by Spike. Art of War, a triple hit chain, not a ton of damage with the elemental disadvantage. But Miranda should go for Hio here. Yes, she does. Dispelling Thrust, a lot of damage. Removes any sort of physical damage up that he had going on in that kit. Piercing Impulse, 11,000 damage. Brings it to Courage onto Hio. And my god, we haven't seen Eileen pretty much at all in the WDL. We saw a little bit from All Smoked Up, but she brings the pain here onto Hio. A heal back coming out from Miranda. Can Yuffie finish the job? Or does she not have enough damage in her kit? She goes for Windstorm Plus. The AoE blinds the Miranda. So if she wasn't already not accurate enough, she's not going to hit anything here. She might even miss Hio. And unless she goes for Dispelling Thrust, which she probably will. We'll see. Balo has some hate, though, it looks like, because it goes for 7,200 instead of killing the Hio. I don't think Valade can get into range for a full life. I take that back. He 100% can get into range, but it doesn't go off. 50 Faith Eileen looking like it's not going to work for him this game. And I will say that is one impressive showing by Error 404 in game number 2. Let's jump into the final game of this series. All right, guys, final game of this series, jumping right into it. We've got Spike's Double Dark Squad coming out, the same comp that he brought to game 1. And this is a different composition entirely coming out from Error 404. So the 90 cost Yuffie, the 70 cost Nivlu, and the 60 Ravis, building up to 220 perfectly with some lightning and fire work here. But what is going to happen? So this is a channel from Nivlu, which means it's probably time mage stuff. Brumal form coming out immediately from Yuffie, so an interesting turn rotation. I'm curious on the timing of this cast because Nivelu is going to go first. Is this a haste or a quicken? Because Black Rose Helena goes immediately after. Hyper reactivity though. Garvel dodging some of the damage could be pretty good. Physical reflex online. This is a quicken. Ravis, what does she have? No, Devastation's going to come through first. It is not quite enough to one-shot the Nivelu here. A standard attack comes out from Ravis. So she is at least out of the way to tank up stuff, but Twin Chi Rupture does a lot. Nivelu, what do you have online here? I don't know. You're going to need a pretty big AoE. Barrier Obliterator, though, does not quite get rid of Black Rose Helena. She lives with 19 health, and I'm looking at this. That is probably the difference in the fight, because I don't know how he's going to pull this off. This is probably a double kill. Shadow Flare comes out. That is a double kill from Black Rose Helena. She is 19 health, enough to pull this out. I say this is a full health Yuffie. What am I talking about? Error 404 might still easily be able to pull this off in a 2v1 now. I mean, she's got guaranteed hit nullification for a few turns. The full life does go off, but do they have the accuracy? Yes, they do. My goodness, Garvel must be building up quite a bit of that, because I think this is a fully reincarnated Yuffie, if I heard correctly about Error's team. Windstorm Plus on the entire party. Can Black Rose Helena hit? Damage distribution does. Yes, that is an incredibly accurate team built by Spike. Well played, well designed by him. Honestly, congrats. Very well played Game 3 victory. Shout out to Error 404, one of our brand new players. Better luck next time. We've got a few more series to get into. All right, guys, the next series should be a really exciting one in this Heimler division. It is none other than JB79 and the Paranoid Androids versus Maverick of the Spaghetti Western. This is a double light composition of Lucio and Sylvie, along with the 30 cost Zazan in our format, versus Mariel, Curry, and Snow. And Mariel is going to go with Jealous Wrath. That is the brand new Vega TMR that gives her Protect and a 25% Berserk chance to any of her abilities that she uses. Courage going to come out from Snow, and he's going to start walking forward. Curry's going to go Hunter's Distinction, giving himself a nice bit of missile attackers' piercing rate now with his new 140 upgrade. Zazan, with all his movement, what does he go for? He's going for Re-Raise. And you can see with that reincarnation, he's sitting with almost 12,000 health. So a very different unit from Season 2. We'll have to see how he plays. Close Call coming out with an HP recovery on the Snow. And one thing I will say is this is a very bulky team from JB79, but I'm curious to see where the damage is coming from. Basically, 2 tanks with a Curry in the back. He is putting a lot of faith in his Curry to deal a bunch of damage. We're going to see if he is able to do that. So Lucio is going to walk forward, go Radiant Nova. That is massive. A big old AoE, slash deck piercing rate up, and more importantly, dropping the Bravery. So increasing how much physical damage they're going to take and reducing how much they deal to the other team. Killer Cross, a very nice slash chain with the Zazan, dropping human resistance. And that is a bulky boy. He only took less than 4k from the Snow. This is probably a mega charge coming out from Curry since he's channeling a spell. Level 4 Banishka, a nice bit of chip damage onto the Zazan. But Lucio is very healthy with 11,000 damage. And I talked about reincarnation, but this is a full reincarnation team from Maverick pretty much, other than Sylvie, as Lucio you can do for free. So very nice squad coming out from him. The self-heal from Snow going to keep him alive. But what is Sylvie doing? She is sitting in the back. It looks like she has a little bit too many buffs turned on, because she is just sitting in the back not doing anything. And that is pretty much the one win con that I think JB has here, because if Sylvie is able to walk forward, heal, and do damage, this is going to be hard to deal with, but she is just refreshing buffs over and over. She's going to literally do this for forever, I think. Blade Bash comes out from Lucio, damage caps the Mariel. That is very impressive. Zazan with only 0 AP should not be able to find a kill onto Snow. With 29 AP, what can he do back? Ravage takes out the 30 cost. Lucio looking very strong right now. And honestly, I think Maverick would have probably won this fight already if Sylvie was walking forward, but she is chilling in the back. Unit attack resist down. She finally starts to move. She says, hey, I've buffed in every possible way that I possibly can. 6k from Curry, though. And JB, who put all of his chips on this Curry to deal damage from the back line, massively pays off. He's doing a ton of damage back here. Sylvie finally gets to enter the fight and deal damage. Cheerful Paladin Strike is enough to proc the Courage on the Snow. Shadowbind comes out, though, 3,300. Man, oh man, this is going to be really tough for Sylvie. Smite 2 does not kill, so she probably goes for a limit break. A full heal, 1 health, or a 1 hit shield. I think the only way she can win this is to basically waste all of Curry's AP and then close the gap. Can she somehow pull this off? So she full heals herself. She didn't have to move. Does she lap? No, she doesn't. Curry goes next. That's going to be a mega charge. Going to drop the unit attack resist. That's going to be hard to overcome. Just a standard attack from Snow, though, because he doesn't have any AP. 148 AP, now 161 on Sylvie. She's got plenty. Standard attack, but she doesn't walk forward. Her support AI is so strange. She's just going to stand still instead of walking forward. But now my question, she doesn't heal herself. It's just a buff. She did not have any sort of heal for herself. I was wondering if she could have won on turns, but now unless she can walk forward and deal damage, can she get in range? 2 actions left. She does. Clever Paladin Strike, 6,000 damage, lands the slow, and JB79 wins on turns. Oh my god, Curry would have went next. I'm sure he would have picked up the kill on the next turn anyway, but geez, man, if Sylvie just walked forward instead of standing still, I think Maverick might have still pulled that off. I don't know, it's really hard to say though. GG's to both of these players. Let's jump into game number 2. Game number 2 of this series of the Paranoid Androids versus the Spaghetti Western. And let's see what the switch up is. So this is a double fire magic comp coming out from JB. So Mariel, the MR tank, with Revelka and Kefka doing a bunch of fire magic damage in the back. It looks like the same squad from Maverick. I'm very curious to see what the changes are from Sylvie's AI here, though, because I'm sure Maverick didn't want her sitting in the back the entire time last time. Bells comes out from Lucio, so no Keenblade or anything like that. He just pops Bells and says, hey, I want tons of AP to be able to do what I want. Mind Crusher for 2,600 damage. A nice little bit of chip from Mariel. Sweet support, the literally the Bold TMR. And Zazan's going to walk forward. So Zazan, the biggest difference from Season 2, as Sylvie pops the Vega TMR, is that he used to basically run Bowtie and a lot of times have Hate, but now a lot of times he has run with Hate down naturally in his kit. Deflagration Blast, my goodness, Revelka just did a shitload of damage to both of these two units. That was very impressive. I thought if anybody was going to obliterate the other team, it would have been Kefka, but Revelka showing up to play at only 50 cost this season. Double Berserk comes out from the Sylvie, though, with that Vega TMR. That could be pretty big. I say that standard attack still did a lot. Kefka's going to do a lot. Light of Judgment Plus hits his own unit who walked into the party, and he double kills both his own person and Sylvie. Is that an AI problem, or is that because of Berserk? I don't know what the hell just happened. Sylvie's going to go next. She's going to limit break and heal herself up. Oh my goodness. Is that like an AI bug or something? I know we were dealing with that a while back, but I haven't seen that in a long time. Kefka's going to go next. He's probably going to go for the same spell as last time. Light of Judgment, 4,800. Going to drop a bunch of her stats as well. This is going to be hard for Maverick to overcome because I think Mariel still has Hate. She walks into the fight with 10. That is an AoE, a nice bit of chip damage. But Kefka's going to be able to go again. Standard attack for 5,400 is just ruthless. And JB79, a very, very good player we all know about in his first ever series, picks up a 2-0 win in very, very impressive fashion. Hats off to Maverick. He has a very good team. I'm sure he's going to pick up a bunch of wins over the series. GG's to both players. And let's jump into the next series. All right, guys, the next series is between Lucian Rams of the Lone Shadow versus Unhindered, one of our veterans of Ignite the Storm, sticking with some sort of part of his Storm identity in his team here. And it looks like a double Dark squad coming out from Lucian Rams with Shadow Lynx, Sephiroth, and Dario. This is a very, very intimidating team, in my opinion. Versus on the other side, it looks like a couple of glove units with some of that VC synergy with Roy Mustang, which I'd love to see. Haven't seen this yet in this season. More the merrier, and Little Ela Halloween. So my big question is Little Ela, I meant regular Little Ela. Can she land the silence onto Dario? That will be pretty massive if she's able to do that. As Dark Resist comes out from More the Merrier, a very smart tech coming out from Unhindered, expecting a lot of dark pressure from the other side here. Lucian Rams Shadow Link's going to go Zombie TMR, so she's got 2 lives online. I do believe More the Merrier has re-raise removal in her kit. I could be wrong about that. I might be misremembering that. But Veil of Woe comes out from Lucian Rams Sephiroth, Barrier, AP Restore, all that good stuff. Protect coming out from Little Ela on herself, so expecting a lot of physical damage on the other side, a smart move as well. Pissarro TMR on Roy Mustang, Hate down and Haste, and More the Merrier going to channel something here. I imagine this is her re-raise spell. as Keenblade coming out from Dario. So this rotation was excellently played by Lucian Rams. A couple of really good initial turn rotations, and then on the second turn landing Keenblade is awesome to see. Utusemi comes out from Shadow Lynx, so she's going to be incredibly evasive. Sephiroth with tons of range on his diamond barriers. Hell's Gate only did 2,700. That was incredibly well tanked. Unhindered has been in the lab, it looks like, obviously putting in a lot of sort of either dark resist, AoE resist, maybe both on his units as Heart of Flutter comes out from Little Leela. And honestly, both of these compositions looking very, very well done by both parties here. Eroga Blade, 2,500 damage, removing the buff on Little Leela. She should still have a little bit of hate though, as Roy's going to walk forward. Triple Combustion gets a nice little bit of chain, but honestly, he can only really chain with himself. Dario, being an impressive magic tank, soaks that up pretty well. Shadow Tether lands the stop and 2,000 damage onto Little Leela. That could be pretty massive, as no silence onto the Dario is going to come out. It might not matter though if More the Merrier can just get rid of him, as 7k damage is pretty impressive. And I imagine this is either Octaslash or Hell's Gate. It's going to be Octaslash from Sephiroth, one of our 110 cost units, looking to pop off. What can he do here? How much damage? Honestly, tanked incredibly well. Unhindered is, you can tell, very much planning for this team. He has built up the bulk for this. Misses the Shadow Lynx 3 times. Roy can be built very, very accurately, but maybe Unhindered not expecting necessarily an evasion team. Looks like dodges by the Shadow Lynx. I say that. Shadow Lynx just used Utusemi, which raises her evasion through the roof for 1 turn or 2 turns. So that could be why she dodged it. But another Shadow Tether, and I will say, Shadow Lynx looks like the hard carry of this game 1, not Sephiroth. Roy Mustang, what can you find here? Flame Cell is going to one-shot the Shadow Lynx, but she still has the zombie re-raise on. And this is looking like probably a win for Lucian Rams. It's pretty tricky with this stopped tank here. It's basically a 2v3, even though it's technically 3v3. And Roy Mustang is going to drop. Shadow Lynx probably going to clean this up here in the end here. No, Sephiroth's just going to go again. He says, hey, I will take a turn and do an absolutely insane chain on Shadow Lynx. This is going to reach a 6-slash chain, which is incredibly impressive. And Lucian Rams, who was talking in Discord a lot about how he can make any team work and that he really can make any Shadow Lynx works, shows it in game number 1. Let's jump into game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. Let's jump into it. Unhindered with Ignite the Storm, Lucian Rams versus the Lone Shadow. And Unhindered verifies, you're recording, right? Somebody is. I know that for sure. And it looks like Mont, King of Leonis, Shadow Lynx, and Ayaka. It looks like we're back up to 2x speed, which is good to see. Boon of the Lion, which is an AoE resist buff for the entire squad here. And the same party coming up from Unhindered. So he has faith in this team. Even though it lost game 1, he feels confident in it regardless. Goes with that Aurora of Blessings, expecting dark damage. Not as much from the other squad this time. But Lucian Rams changing up his squad to a much more bulky setup. We'll have to see how this works. Shadow Lynx might have to put on quite a bit of damage here, as there's not a ton of damage, at least appearingly so, from Lucian's team here. So Heart of Flutter from Little Leela. Very nice tech. Unit attack resist, getting her to move forward, and a Quicken. Okay, so what are we going to see here? Is this... Oh man, those taunting spell. I thought for a second it was going to be the silence, and it actually gets dodged by King of Leonis Mont. So this is a dodgy Mont. Interesting. So is the accuracy here for Roy Mustang and More the Merrier this time? Are they able to hit these dodgy units? I mean, for the most part, they were able to hit everybody except for the one time where she used Utusemi. So we'll have to see. More the Merrier goes with her own re-raise. Roy Mustang going to go Fuel to the Fire. Gives himself a nice little barrier. And what does Shadow Lynx go for here? Probably going to go for the stop. No, she standard attacks. Is there that much dark resistance on Little Leela that she just standard attacked? Claws of the Young Kings comes out 2,300. I think that Little Leela that has that much dark res that she standard attacked, that's actually insane to me. As Ayaka pulls off a really cool buff onto the King of Leonis, Mont gives himself some HP absorb and some defense piercing rate. Taunting spell misses again. This is a very interesting comp from Lucian Rams here with a very dodgy tech here. All-consuming fire, only 4,800 onto the Ayaka. She does happen to live it. What does Shadow Lynx go for here? Night Veil. So she does go for the different technique here. Maybe it was a height range issue. I don't know what happened last turn, why she standard attacked, but she went for it here. Ayaka, does she go for a limit break or she just go for a regular self-heal? She goes for a limit break. So honestly, this might be a little bit of a waste from Lucian Rams here. It's going to be a nice little heal. Stop resistance would be nice for the other side of this team, I will say, against Shadowlinks, but I don't think it'll matter with these other teams. Disable. This little Leela, unfortunately, is able to do almost nothing in these first 2 games. Meridian Channel, 6,300 is quite a bit of damage, though. King Mont has a heal back, but can he one-shot right here? Yes, he can. Incinerator. That heal back doesn't matter if you're able to just blow through it. Shadow Tether comes out from Shadowlinks. This is now a 2v2. Ayaka does have full life in her kit, but does she get the cast off in time? More the Merrier is going to go next. Can she kill Ayaka before she gets this spell off? She's going to go Meridian Channel, 8,600. That's it. It is now a 2v1 in Unhindered's fashion. And wow, the Shadowlinks has been really impressive, but Dream Within a Dream is not going to cut it. And I imagine that Roy probably has enough accuracy to get this done here. True Triple Combustion one-shots the Shadowlinks. She does not have Zombie TMR this time. And that is a Game 2 victory for Unhindered. I want to give a little shout out to Unhindered here. Last season, he did not get a single series win. And it took him till week 8, I believe, to get a game win. So for week 1, to pull off a game win, impressive job. He did a much better job drafting, in my opinion, and I think he has learned a lot about the game. He's done a very nice job setting up his units here. Excited to jump into game 3 and see what happens. All right, guys, final game of this series, Unhindered versus Lucian Rams, and it looks like on Unhindered's side, he is running the same squad. Roy Mustang, More the Merrier, and Little Leela, and this is the same team that Lucian Rams ran in game 1. Lucian won it in game 1. So he says, hey, I'm just going to go back to what's working, and we'll have to see what happens here. So, Aurora Blessings. This looks like the same exact tech as game number 2 from Unhindered. And my question is, does Roy Mustang have the accuracy to hit Shadowlinks after she uses Utsumi? And does Little Leela get basically stopped and taken out of the fight? Because that was the big difference in game number 1. She was able to basically not do anything. Quicken comes out. Can she walk up and land a silence on Dario? This could be pretty massive if she can. No, it's a taunting spell. She doesn't go for the silence. I wonder if that's turned off, or if Unhindered is thinking that it's more important to get hate up on Little Leela. That could be what he's going for. Because honestly, at this point, I think she has around 17, or I don't know if it gets 8 or 12. I think it's 12. So she should have basically enough hate for the entire fight. As Hell's Gate comes out from Sephiroth, did that do any damage to Little Leela? I mean, that was insanely well tanked. I didn't see what number that was, but I didn't see basically any damage comes out. And Roy Mustang finding a nice little AoE on both Dario and Shadowlinks here. Taunting Spellblind lands on the Little Leela, so she can't move. Does she get stopped by Shadowlinks by Shadow Tether? Yes, she does. She is stopped again for the second time here. This is an incredibly strong skill for Shadowlinks. But my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen anybody in my life tank up Sephiroth as well as this Little Leela is doing right now. Divine Toxicology lands, no poison though. The status effect does not land for Unhindered. Flame Cell gonna take out the tank. This is a 3v2 in Unhindered's favor, but the tank is stopped. The standard attack goes off, but it is not enough to kill Little Leela, and Sephiroth's gonna have to waste a turn killing her. No, he can't even find it. He buffs. Because of the height range, he can't find the kill. And Vitiation, I think that is how you pronounce it, kills the Shadowlinks. Roy Mustang's going to go next. And Unhindered is looking like he's in very good position here. It's never over till it's over, because Sephiroth is a ridiculous unit. But can Unhindered pick off a series win in week 1? He didn't get a single one last season. Can he do it right now in week 1? This would be an incredible start for him. More the Merrier. Divine Toxicology, 4,000. Lands the poison, which can be pretty massive for a unit like Sephiroth, who has tons of elemental resistance. Incinerator, 5,600. Sephiroth might just die to poison if he can't double kill right now. And he only has 2 AP. There's no way. Breathing Technique. It's going to heal himself up a little bit. Poison's going to come out. 1,100 damage. More the Merrier is going to finish this off. And this is going to be a series 1... whatever, week 1, I can't speak, English is hard, Unhindered. Man, oh man, pulling off the victory against Lucian Rams and the impressive Sephiroth team. Well friggin' played. Honestly, that was an impressive series win for him, and super happy for him to start off on a hot streak here. Very, very well done. To Lucian Rams, GG's, man. Those were some really, really good games. Excited to see your squads going through the rest of the season. We've got one more series for you guys, and let's jump into it. All right, guys, the final series for today is going to be Desir versus Colgate. Colgate of Team Friendship, and Desir is coach of Team Big Mouth. And excited for this series. I will say it looks like there was some sort of issue with the file. The size is very, very small, so it's going to be a little blurry. I do apologize, but we're going to do our best to shoutcast it. Should be a good time regardless. So Colgate going to lead off with his first overall pick, King Bradley, Elda Leonis, and Helena Leonis. So mom and dad, the wife and husband helping out the king, the true king here. As it looks like from the other side, we've got Sakura, we've got Liarte. And I actually missed who that third unit was. I do apologize. That is Stern Wing of Destiny. So the double light squad with Liarte in the back versus King Bradley. Battle of 110 cost units. Both of them are 110 in our format. And let's see who can carry harder. So Liarte going to go with Revitalize. She's going to have tons of AP. And my question is, does she go for Stop Arrow, Shadow Devour, Poison Arrow? Does she just go for Barrages? She's got a lot of different techs in her kit. Just kind of depends on what you want to utilize against the other team. So momentum goes haste and reaction block rate. King Bradley going to use his own TMR here, as Helena is going to use guard haste on him. And Stern Wing of Destiny, what does he go for? I imagine probably going to do his own reawakening buff. Yes, he does. Re-raise, AP recovery, have to re-raise, all of that good stuff. CT up, the one ability that makes him just really, really, really oppressive. Sakura can't quite find the damage though. Void Piercer, 3,000 damage from Elda, going to raise his own crit rate. And I'll be honest with you, I know very little about what Elda does. Wow. King Bradley just got tanked insanely well. That was very, very impressive by Desir, I have to say. Liarte is going to go next. And what does she go for here? She is going to standard attack. I think Desir might have abilities turned off, or at least some of them, because I don't know why she just standard attacked. I can't think of a single reason why she would have done that. But we'll have to see. So Stern Wing of Destiny, he's up next, and for his sake, I hope that he doesn't have other abilities turned off. What is Stern going to go for here? He goes for Convergence Plus, so that is a part of the plan, I think. Drops the healing power down. Sakura, can she chain up with this? Kill the Elda, maybe bring Bradley to Courage. She should be able to go for either a Limit Break or a Rebel Intention. She's going to go Resistance Break. Removes the re-raise and kills Elda in one shot, but King Bradley is the main threat here. What does he have? Calculated Rend on both units, one-shots to Liarte, but again, Stern Wing of Destiny pulling a really nice job tanking this damage. Grace of Eternal Friendship, so regular Helena, going to use Black Rose Helena TMR, but that haste on Bradley is a little too much. The turn order, he's going to chain with himself, and no longer is he chaining or resisting that damage. Helm Splitter going to chain with himself, remove the re-raise, and he is now out of here. As the 1v2 for Sakura, she's a good unit, but unless she can one-shot Bradley right now, she does have Courage Removal, actually. She has Courage Removal in her kit. Bradley has Courage online. If she can Rebel Intention him right now and kill, can she find this angle? She just goes Rending Brightblade on the back line for Helena. I think she had to kill Bradley right there. I say that he doesn't have AP. He hastes, he moves. Does he go next? Yes, of course he does. He's got 18 AP. Is that enough to kill her? No, it is not. Again, Sakura, can you Rebel Intention? Can you remove Courage and kill him right here? This is the question. This is the skill. I don't know if she's waiting a long time to use this. There's not much choice here, Sakura. There's one ability that you need to use, Resistance Break. It does not remove Courage. That removes Re-Raise. I don't know if she has Rebel Intention off. I'm actually shocked she didn't go for that. I think she probably would have killed for that. I don't know. Maybe a couple of skills turned off for Desir. Honestly, the fight came down to 1 health, and I think he had skills turned off on Liarte. So I do happen to wonder, would this have changed anything if some of those skills weren't turned off? I don't know. But let's jump into game 2 and see who won. All right, guys, game number 2 of the final series for this video. It is still Desir versus Colgate. Team Big Mouth versus Friendship. And who's going to win it? We'll have to find out here. So I did see a King Bradley hover when I was looking at the screen before I jumped in here. So I know King Bradley is coming, but what else is going to be in the battle? I'm not entirely sure. I think I might have jumped into this video a little too soon as the loading bar is still going, but here we go. Same squad coming out from Colgate, same squad coming out from Desir. So does Desir realize that he had certain abilities turned off and he just says, hey, I'm running it back. That was the problem. I'll be really curious to see, because maybe that will be the difference, because I think this is pretty much the exact same turn rotation. Other than that, Pinion of Steel comes out from Stern Wing of Destiny. Not sure if he went for that last time or not, but Bar Aurora Protector comes out from Helena Leonis. And Sakura, what does she go for? Is it the same buff as last time? Padfoot, I believe that is the same as last time. I think she hasted herself and walked forward. Elda Leonis going to go Zombie TMR, same as last time. So this honestly looks like the exact same fight. I do think it is probably just a switch by Desir, turning abilities back on and just running it back. So we'll have to see. Revitalize comes out. A little bit different movement, though. Interesting, because I think Liarte walked towards the middle of the fight last time, and now she's going off to the left. So this could be still a little bit different here. King Bradley's going to go Momentum, his own TMR, same as last game. And Helena, Guard Haste. That is probably not what he was looking for. I think King Bradley might be running Bowtie. I didn't look at his movement, but the fact that they went Haste and the TMR, and the fact that they're moving off to the left instead of the middle this time, I wonder if Colgate added a Bowtie or a little bit of hate to try and change things, and that is the Rebel intention. That was the skill that needed to come out in game number 1, but he doesn't use it on Bradley, unfortunately, which is the target that you need to use it on because he's got courage. Calculated Ren comes out. That is going to one-shot the Sakura, and it is an early 2v3 in Colgate's favor. If Helena's able to get a big old Kiriga off, although I don't even think she has White Mage on because she's got Time Mage sub online. You have to choose between White Mage and Time Mage, so this could still be pretty good for Desir here. If Stern can find an AoE here, which I think he can probably get in range for, yeah, that is a big old AoE. Diamond removes the Ray Rays on Elda. It is now a 2v1, so now the question is, how OP is King Bradley? Assault Blade comes up. That is a lot of damage. Oh my god, he's gonna go again, dude. This guy is just so ridiculously fast. Helm Splitter removes the re-raise, kills Stern Wing of Destiny, and I think that is probably all she wrote. Good luck, Liarte. 30 cost lightning unit with an elemental disadvantage, and honestly, as well as Stern tanked up some of that damage in the first fight, maybe Bradley just has lightning resist, and that's why she's standard attacking. I'm not entirely sure, but I do think, I could be wrong. If that Rebel intention was on in game 1, I think Desir would have won that, but it's hard to say, hard to confirm. Either way, Colgate, congratulations, GG on the first series win. Brand new players, both of these guys, well played. Let's jump into the standing, guys, and see how we end up after 1 week. All right, guys, 1 week in the books for the Heimler division here in Season 3, and these are how the standings shake out after 1 week. So, 5 teams have 3 points with 1 series win. We've got Colgate with Friendship, Turnbar with the Fire Ferrets, JB79 with the Paranoid Androids, Spike and Bebop's crew, and Unhindered and Ignite the Storm. Lucian Rams of Lone Shadow and Error 404 with Ashes to Crashes, both sitting there with 1 point, and Maverick, Spaghetti Western, Crimson Lease of the Triumphant Trailblazers, and Desir of Team Big Mouth bringing up the rear here. We'll just point out the tiebreakers real quick. So these 3 teams are technically tied for first because they both have +2, but the main thing to look at is the points right here. So I think this is going to be a banger of a division. I think it's going to be really exciting to watch all season. I hope you guys enjoyed these fights. There should be 1 more video coming out after this week. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.